KFAN.
Do you want to be at the next big game or concert? We're giving away tickets to the Outlaw Music Festival, Santana, Guns N' Roses, Chris Stapleton, plenty more. All these, you can get the details, and you can enter today, KFAN.com, keyword contest.
Welcome back. And how was Aruba? Would you recommend Aruba as a vacation destination?
To you especially, yes. It was our second time we got to go there, and this time it was with the kids. The first time there was 0 kids in the mix, and no, it was fun. We look forward to it. It was one that we wanted to make a return trip to.
Mm-hmm. Is it the white sand turquoise water bit?
It is. Yeah, it's really nice. It's just off the north side of Venezuela, I guess. It's down there a ways. But
you don't realize how far away it is.
Right.
But yeah, it's very close to South America.
Until you take a seat and the pilot says, you got 5 hours to enjoy this flight. Me not being a huge flyer, I don't enjoy it a ton.
Well, the moderate chop's still not getting you, is it?
Yeah, the moderate chop does.
Come on.
It still does a little bit. But you know what? When the kids are with on a flight, it makes it a lot easier because it's, Dad, can I have this? Dad, hand me that. Dad, I need something to drink. So it's always moving. It makes it a lot easier for me. I don't have to sit there and just stare straight ahead.
Well, I mean, given I haven't had to go to turbulenceforecast.com for you in a year.
The nice thing is that it's not even a website anymore. It's an app.
It is?
I have the app on my phone.
But you Turbulence app.
You can .com it, too, if you want.
You can, but
what I would do is I would draw some red in, for the severe chop.
And just the line I'm on.
Yes, right, just the line.
Just the line I'm taking. It looks good elsewhere.
And Alex Stalock, our guest, actually bought into it one time. I'm like, no. It's a chop-free flight from wherever you were going. I think you were playing them. Speaking of playing, Ryan Hartman, 6 goals, 4 assists the last 6. This time of the year, he seems to be at his best and his most effective, and the one they call Heartsy is hot.
He is, and he loves this time of year, and it's been an interesting schedule this year, just with the Olympics, the packed schedule. You almost have like a double dog days part of the schedule, whereas leading up to the Olympic break, and then there's the bye week. There's 2 little gaps. You had a ton of games in a row, and it just so happened that this year there can be times throughout the season where it feels monotonous, and it's it just felt like there was those stretches throughout the season, for different players at different points. But this is the time of year where the big players, the stars you just saw recently, the superstars here in Minnesota have been excellent in the games. And players like Ryan Hartman, playoff players that not only are going to get on the score sheet in the dirty areas, but you're going to watch, they're going to play Dallas, and they have a player that's Ritzkovian. He's a younger guy in Dallas. He's the same type of player. They get under your skin, and you play against the Ryan Hartman 7 games. By the end of that thing, you can't wait to get away from the guy.
Right.
And that's what he brings. Is he's so effective at getting under top guys' skins, the Wyatt Johnsons, the Robertsons, the Miro Heiskanen. Don't think Ryan Hartman, when he's got a chance to hit Heiskanen in that series, he's not going to pull up and pull short. He's going to finish every check. And throughout a 7-game series, that gets annoying. Heiskanen's a guy that's going to be looking over his shoulder every time he's retrieving pucks, and it just wears you down game after game, shift after shift. And to see him getting rewarded on the score sheet's obviously beneficial, but he does so much more than just scoring goals and getting assists for this team.
So you get the call tonight on FanDuel with Anthony LaPancha.
Speaking of chop,
and think about the chop the Kraken went through. I mean, Seattle over Montana, severe chop every single time.
It always is.
They get to Winnipeg, nobody wants to be there. They get killed. Grubauer gets hurt. Now they got to come here, play tonight against a team that's just tooth and nail to get home ice advantage. And it's the time of the season where I'm sure you've been on teams like this where you can kind of sniff the offseason a little bit. It's like, one thing I'll hear around the NFL is, and I'm sure it's like this in a lot of pro sports, is
business decisions.
Well, no, they get paid during the season. But they have so many meetings and so much practice and the games and the rehab and all that, they can't spend any of their money during the season. So, like, when it's when you're a non-playoff team and you can catch the light at the end of the proverbial tunnel, which is what the Kraken are looking at now, I just wonder what their interest level is going to be tonight.
Yeah, they could have been on the Delta app last night looking up Aruba flights here in a couple of weeks. But
you ever do that when you were playing?
No, never.
Of course not.
No.
For those Blackhawk teams that were winning 20 games.
Those Blackhawk teams we were winning Connor Bedard with.
That's right, you were with him.
No, we earned Connor Bedard.
Oh.
I earned Chicago Connor
Bedard. I thought you had his
I
first year.
helped earn him. No, he was
you
drafted
get a card
the
in the
year
mail
after
for
I
that?
left. Thanks for all your help.
Well, wait, you had that tall defenseman who plays for another team now. Tyler.
Well, we had Jared.
No,
Tenor.
Kirby Doc.
Yeah, well, Kirby Doc's a forward. He's in Montreal.
He's a forward, okay. Yeah, you had Kirby Doc.
Doc was there, yeah. It was...
I was thinking of Tyler Myers.
You guys ever
Bernard was on the horizon, but
you guys ever get together and it's just like little thank you cards, like just
like
from
in the elbow room,
from everybody associated, just appreciate your efforts
from the elbow room. Kyle Davidson sends out the thank you card every Christmas to all the players that were involved in that push. But no, it's a Seattle. I mean, guys are playing for contract spots next year.
Matty Beniers.
It's a good team. They got some guys that can score. And
second overall pick in the 2021 draft. Matty
had
Beniers.
a great rookie year, and he's figuring his way out in this league. They play a good structured game. They get chances. They can score. And you never know it's a situation like this. I mean, not that they're still saying they're in the hunt, right?
They're not in the hunt.
But what I mean? What's being said in the locker room before it is not at this level. You're not going to throw it in. You know what I mean? We need
Coaches
to play for something tonight.
Well, that's just outright lying.
But I mean, it's now they play. Now they're playing with no cares. You know what I mean? They play free. They play loose here. And maybe different line matchups.
Worked
guys
last
are
night.
different looks and worked last night.
Well, Hellebuck was. I mean, it's
right.
Winnipeg has something for which to play,
Well, a team that finished first last year and where they started this year, now they're making a push late. The division races, the wild card races are nuts in the East and in the West. These last 5 to 7 games are going to be incredible to watch. But
so are you ready for the Taco Bell take tonight?
Well, yeah, I guess it sounded like I was doing the game in Ottawa, so that shows how much you were listening.
Stop that. I thought he called the game in Ottawa.
Yeah, he's texting me. He's sending me all these texts like, great this. I'm like, what? And
nice job with the Taco Bell take.
I'm at 14,000 feet trying to get to the top of Keystone looking at this text. I'm like,
wow.
What are you talking
what
about?
What a fat L I took.
So then I just played along with it. I was like, oh, yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Well, that's why I thought you did it.
Well, I was like,
it just seemed like it's Easter weekend. Let's let Al go to Ottawa because nobody wants to go there.
Right.
Get some reps, come back to the Seattle game. It just seemed
ready to go.
It seemed perfect.
Yeah, I'll be ready for my take tonight.
For your Taco Bell. Do you frequent Taco Bell? Are you a Taco Bell fan?
You know what we did, actually, speaking of Taco Bell, I do like Taco Bell. I like Taco John's a little bit better because they got the potato Olays. Honest, the 6-pack and a pound, I used to hit that. It was like, at Duluth, it was incredible. I don't know how they designed it. We lived at the top of 21st. It was literally like, how it worked from like rink to Taco John's to home. It was it was in perfect
family sauna.
And so we just went up there recently, and Taco Bell got inside closer to 21st. So it's like a competition now on its way up to campus, and it's a beautiful looking Taco Bell. But like I said, we were in Keystone, so we had to drive back to Denver because we know where the Denver airport is. So we might as well take a tour around town. And I knew, and I don't know why I knew this, but the first ever Chipotle is in Denver.
It is?
Yes. It's right. It's right.
It's on Colfax.
No, it's
by DU.
Right by DU.
Yes, that's true. I know where that is.
So I got a picture of the kids, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, let's get a picture of the kids next to the sign that says, this is the first ever Chipotle. Yeah. And Felicia's like, why don't you get in there? You're more excited than the kids are, And
so have you been to Seattle?
Like, yes.
Well, okay,
yeah,
so I mean,
so they went. So actually,
that's the first Starbucks.
Yep, she took my Simon out there.
Yeah.
A few years ago when I was with the Hawks on our way to grab Bedard and went to the first Starbucks, and I thought she was excited about that. But it was a really good Chipotle. I mean, that was unbelievable. It's tiny in there, but the quality, they must really focus on that one and saying, we want quality because this gets free business.
So if you do the Taco Bell take tonight, though, you're not going to mention that you like Taco John's just a little bit more with the potato Olays, are you?
No. I mean, I would just like to see them get some type of Olay.
Well, I mean,
Cinco de Mayo
Anthony LaPanta's Sunday night meals at home are social media immortality.
Kevin Fallness is incredible.
Right. You'll be doing the Taco Bell take tonight because Anthony will be like, well, I'm not. How dare you think I have Yokietto?
He'd be doing the Wagyu whisper.
Oh.
Brilliant.
Wagyu beef, little pasta.
Alex Stalock, our guest, as morning skate is concluded, and those who are not playing this evening are executing their toil right now. It's 11:16. I mentioned the name Elbow Room earlier because it was a couple of weeks ago. Matthew Tkachuk, Mark Cuban, at a place called Elbow Room in South Florida the night before the Wild played the Florida Panthers. Mm-hmm. Well, given Mark Cuban was there, I mean, Age of Rage can't have fun with people getting together. It immediately has to morph into something political. So I stopped reading the comments after about 4 comments, but Russo Radio was here earlier, and he was talking about a player with whom he had some beers back in the day, talking about Russian hockey and stuff like that. And then I hit him with a, well, why weren't you at the elbow room? With
What did he say?
The conversation ended quickly. Fortunately, I
wasn't on the invite list?
I did it off microphone, and it didn't make it into the chat.
Okay.
I legitimately think he's frustrated he wasn't there with, Husey, 97. Boldy was there. Some others with
It was a lot of the guys that were on the Team USA
Matthew
together. They just got done winning gold.
And Mark
and
Cuban just rolled into the chat.
Right. And I mean, it happens so much where you get a chance to see a buddy on another team and where are we going to meet? And it's just so, like you said, phones nowadays, that's the only thing. Anywhere you go, there's going to be pictures.
Right.
Right. And they're aware of that.
But, I mean,
they're sitting at a table. I mean, they're all 21 years old. You're going out, you're having a beer before a game, right? And that happens. You're going out, and whether it's you're meeting a guy at his favorite restaurant that lives in that city, knows about this restaurant, you go and you join him, you have a glass of red wine. No one's there that's going to take a picture. They just so happen to be at the elbow room, that has live streaming cameras on the inside.
The cameras are live streaming in that place?
Live streaming cameras in
Come
that
on over
place.
here, brother. What you got there? Executive Chef Kyle, what's going on, brother?
Welcome. Thank you. We've got a new item for playoffs. It's a walking dirt cake. So Oreos, pudding, gummy worms, whipped cream, and we're going to sell it at our walking taco stand on the main concourse called the Crunchy Commuter.
Main concourse.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah,
Crunchy Commuter?
Walking dirt cake at the Crunchy Commuter on the main concourse. It's rolling out for playoffs, so coming up soon.
Will that still be fresh at 2:47 when my daughter when she gets off the bus this afternoon?
If you throw it in a fridge, I think it'll be fine.
Wow. The walking dirt bag.
Thank you for the walking dirt bag, and thank you for your kindness as usual. We'll be seeing you frequently here with the postseason beginning.
Yeah, I can't wait. Super excited. Good to see you guys. Enjoy.
Executive Chef Kyle with his walking dirt bags.
The walking dirt cake.
Oh, wow, there's gummy bears.
The walking dirt cake.
Dirt cake.
Wow,
dirt cake.
Oh, because it came in a bag.
Yes.
Okay. Walking dirt cake.
Yeah,
we were wrong.
We're trying not to be, too judgmental about any walking dirt bags that are out there. Now, elbow room or not, the
Sorry about that. I channeled
at the
from San Francisco with that slip.
late night, late streets, certain neighborhoods, the walking dirt bag.
Yeah.
But the walking dirt cake at the Crunchy Commuter.
Man, where'd those go?
They're in the refrigerator for your kids.
They're in the refrigerator.
Keep them good.
I thought you cut a hole in the bottom.
Oh, we probably could. I mean, it's 2 degrees as usual at Tria Rink. Holy cow! It's. I understand it's an ice rink. It's supposed to be cold, but it's like 2 degrees every time we get here these days.
Well, I mean, you want the ice warm? I mean, you don't want it slush. You don't want the mashed potato snow I just skied on in Keystone.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Alex, as we were...
You got a heater right there.
Lori Lynn says hi.
Yeah.
Is that your aunt or your cousin?
Relation to Felicia, correct.
Oh, there we go. Okay, Lori, there we go.
As we were here last week, kind of talking about just trying to find their way to better starts on home ice, issues scoring in the first period in general. Hey, what's up with Boldy? As good as he's been this year, hadn't seen a tally in XYZ number of games. Is Kaprizov right? What does it look like for number 97 when our best player isn't at his best? Now, 3 games later, can we just go, they're back?
They were probably going through business deals with Cuban for a few days, trying to figure out what they wanted to finalize, after the meeting at Elbow Room. No, I mean, yes, is Kaprizov going to score 82 goals every year? I mean, you'd like him to, yes, but he's not. That's just not how it works. There's going to be a couple game stretch where your superstars aren't getting on the score sheet, and that's where depth scoring comes into place. And you look at the last game, Middleton jumps in there, and you get Hartman again getting the score sheet. That's how you win playoff hockey games. You don't think you're going to roll into Dallas and someone's going to be on Kaprizov the whole game. You got to find different ways to score, and then you get a national TV broadcast game, you come out, and now the stars are back, right? It just it happens. It's a long season.
I just feel we ride waves like that, like emotionally, like as a Rube, as a fan. Like you see it differently playing it at a high level like you did, but
think you did.
Maybe the Rube in me, the fan in me, is you see little stretches like that and you start gripping a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little bit. And then it's people, it's like us, the media, and the people downstairs asking all the questions, keep peppering you with the microphone in the face. What's going on with your game? Well, you get sick of answering that question, and the superstars have the ability to finally say, okay, enough is enough. I'm gonna go put up 3 tonight, and that's what Burrell did. And then once they get going, you just talk about, figure out how great they are as players, and what they do on a nightly basis. But Kirill, again, as much as he is a superstar, it's amazing to watch him. how he competes. He's not a perimeter guy. He gets in the mix. He throws his body around, and he brings a different element, too, if he's not scoring. And he competes all over the ice. He wins so many 50-50 battles, and that's what makes him so effective. And a guy like Boldy, I think, is starting to realize, I think starting last year, too, with the Four Nations, but now in Olympia and how effective he was on the world stage. And now he's understanding that he is a legit top player in this league and a superstar. And he's starting to get into, basketball. You got the trios or whatever. But
MB3.
Yes, you're getting that here where there's legit multiple superstars here in Minnesota.
Boy, how ready are you for the game tonight? Holy cow. That little dissertation right there. That's a Taco Bell take if I've ever heard one.
I got to catch my breath.
That was phenomenal. All right. You know what? Let's pause here because there's a controversial topic involving the Minnesota Wild I want to get into. And it may not be controversial, but you would know more about it than we do. And you would be Alex Stalock, a former Wild goaltender. He'll be on television tonight with the heir apparent, calling the Wild and Seattle Kraken. From Trier Rink, back after this. This is your Quentin Grimes leader, the fan, and KFAN.com, about 11:30 now. Al Stalock for another segment before he gets home and goes through the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Wow, half-brother.
Get his voice ready this evening for the Wild and the Kraken. He'll be calling it on TV. Wild Radio Joe and Tom Reed on the radio, 7 o'clock against your beloved Kraken. Tell me if you think this is in any way controversial, and I guess it would be a fan-generated controversy, maybe a media-generated controversy, but the goaltending situation for the Wild. Gus Bus will get Game 1. I think it's fair to say that Gustafsson will get Game 1 no matter where it is. Wallstedt, in his last 5 games, I think most of them, if not all of them, he's given up 2 goals or fewer. So, Wallstedt, who goes tonight, as Hines told us in the first segment, he wants to play too. And so, it's like I said to Heinze this morning, it's a good problem to have. It's an oxymoron, but nevertheless, is it like a problem? Does it provide tedium? And he said, yeah, because you want to make the right decision, but we have a formula. And we talked things out. He and Freddie Shabbat talked extensively about it yesterday, and I think that involves the plan through the final 5. But, it's what do you think about the whole thing?
No, it is, and it's going to be a talker. It's a talker in every city. For the most part, especially if you go into a series and you lose Game 1. What are you going to talk about? But there's so much that goes into it, and they look into the analytics side. The analytics side of the game is so much different now than it was even when I was playing in years before that. Mm-hmm. Does X goaltender play better against a team there where the in zone style is a little bit more controlled? They like to play in zone versus you play against a team that they're a rush team and there's a lot more east-west. Do they like this goalie against this analytical offensive team? And they look into that, and there's different elements. Does one goalie handle the puck a little bit better if a team likes to get the puck in? Can he be effective in breaking forechecks up? And it like you said, it is really hard decision to make, but the benefit the Wild have is they have 2 goaltenders that have unbelievable years. And yeah, you're probably right saying Gus is going to be the Game 1 starter, right? And he is, the guy here right now. So you look at the history, and this goes back a couple years now. Wally's first game was in Dallas, and it didn't go well for him, and sometimes that happens for players in the NFL. It's just buildings that you don't play well in, or just for whatever reason it may be. And is that what they look into the history there? And is he ready? And you ask that of different guys, rookies going into playoffs. It's the same thing with Urov. It's his first time going into a playoff series. And what's it about? You got to learn on the fly, and that's what's going to happen with him. Same in the goaltender position. But you look back, years that Stanley Cup champions, think back to Carolina. Cam Ward won it as a rookie, as a goalie. And Matt Murray
Bennington.
Matt Bennington, a guy like that went on a run, and Matt Murray in Pittsburgh won back-to-back cups. His first one being a rookie. And sometimes, you're younger in this league. You just roll into a building in a playoff series. I'm here to win the game. That's all I'm here to do. I make saves. I'm going to get out of here, get a win. They don't put a ton of thought into it. It's their first time going through it. Here we go. I'm here to win. I get out of here. And, that's what you think about with Wallstead. And, as you talk about as a Blade, 5 of his last 6, he's given up less than 2 goals or less. He's been incredible. And, that's the thing, the issue you have. Now, if Wallstead plays, 2 out of the last 3, plays incredible, and Gus is so-so, or vice versa, then you have an answer, okay, who do we go with? Now, if Wally plays, lights-out hockey the last stretch down here, now it's more of a talker. But,
right.
It's a good problem to have, is 2 goaltenders that not only the coaches, but the players, too, is the most important. On the bench, in the locker room, okay, game 1 or game 2, whatever it may be, we're going to go with our backup. And I've been in that situation before. It can be a little weird, a little goofy, and the media's here. Who's the last goalie on the ice? Who's the first one off, right? And now that's the big storyline. But this group, you can just tell they play the same. Whoever's in net, it doesn't matter, and they got trust in both of them.
Well, the Grubauer got hurt last night. The Kraken have Matt Murray. Okay, and when I looked at the fact he only played 5 games, I'm like, all right, well, this is a different Matt Murray than the one you just mentioned. No, it's the same one.
Same one, yes.
I mean, holy cow, this guy's been playing forever.
Yep.
Won the Stanley Cup in 2016.
So, started his career in Pitt. And at the time, I believe, if you look, Bill Guerin would have been in Pitt at the time. I believe in the front office. And in what role, I don't know what at the time. If he was the general manager of the Wilkes-Barre team at that time. But, yes, he was in Pitt and won a couple cups. And
where was Fleury at that point?
Fleury was, I think, his first year. He was there, and then would have went to Vegas.
He would have went to Vegas for the inaugural. Okay,
right,
my bad
for the draft. No, and then Murray went on to sign a big deal in Ottawa, I believe it was, and went through some health stuff like hip issues and surgeries, and then was in Toronto for a brief period, and now he gets a chance here in Seattle to resurrect his career. And you're not sure what the situation is. I know Grubauer's got a big deal in Seattle.
Well, he's playing tonight.
Joey Decore just signed, a big deal this past offseason, and a lot of teams now are signing a third guy, to maybe a one-way deal or a high two-way American League deal for insurance situations like this. And
well, I say he's playing tonight, and I don't know he is, but I mean. The Grubauer got hurt. They had to use Decord. They're on a back-to-back. They're a non-playoff team. Murray's in the mix. So, well, great, cool. We're trying to win every single game and get home ice in the state of hockey, and we got to go against a goaltender who's won 2 Stanley Cups. Just out of nowhere, under the cover of darkness. How'd that happen?
Well, maybe we should ask Keith Tkachuk about that. I don't know if you saw that on the podcast with the brothers. The whole story in the media world now is Keith Tkachuk went after
his dad,
some players on the podcast of one of his son's teams, saying goalies can't play back-to-back anymore, and he was kind of mocking him.
His dad got involved in the chat or something.
His dad got involved in the conversation about goaltenders playing back-to-back games.
I'll tell you, back in the day, there were no days off.
Exactly.
So how does it? We're talking about. So let's say Gus Bus gets game one. I'm just interested. I go back to, and I think it was the St. Louis series. Fleury's going to start. This was Fleury's first time in Minnesota.
That was Talbot, right?
Well, Talbot had played exceptionally well.
Yep.
And into the playoff series. Well, Fleury gets like the first 4 games or something like that, and it was up and down, right? Like I think game 1 was a problem, game 2 was unbelievable, etc. And in the end, I think Cam Talbot basically just gets thrown into the mix as a sacrificial lamb in an elimination game, and they lose that series. Talbot, I think, left kind of a little bitter as part of that process as well, frustrated and no longer here, of course. But to that end, the difficulty I see is, okay, you believe in Gus. Well, how much weight do you put in if he allows 3 and one of them super soft in game 1? Versus creating potentially a situation where if you need Wallsted's been on the shelf for a week and a half or nearly 2 weeks like Cam Talbot was, where when you do need to make that change, as difficult a decision as that'll be, Wallsted's coming in ice freaking cold in potentially a massive season-saving spot.
Well, you talk about the Fleury-Talbot deal, and that was a big deal. Billy went out and got Marc-Andre Fleury. You know Marc-Andre Fleury's history of what he's done.
Yeah.
Won a Vezina in Vegas. He got a Stanley Cup in 2009 with Pittsburgh. Billy Guerin had him there. He knew what he was about off the ice, knew on the ice what he could do, and you're going to make a move like that at the deadline. He's not coming here to sit on the bench, right? And that was the whole thing. You're going to play Marc-Andre Fleury. It just so happened, the other goalie's going to be frustrated. You have a good year, and you don't get the net to start game one. That happens. And
kind of like you and Marty Jones.
They traded me before I could get the playoffs that year. But it's and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it for the next week. And you talk about Freddie Shabbat. They sit down and they have a plan, and it could be where Volstead finishes the last game of the year of the regular season. Would they have a back-to-back Nashville, St. Louis coming up next week? Each one's going to play that one. We got Volstead going tonight. So one goalie's going to get 3, one's going to get 2. Who's going to get the 3? How are they going to get it rolling? And then now playoffs, it starts now. It's not like the Frozen Four where you have 2 weeks off. Last game of the year. And
why'd you just flinch?
It's going. I
was making a hand
gesture. What the heck happened there?
He was doing a hand gesture, so I looked down. I was like, "What's he talking about?"
Goaltending PTSD there, like a bar down Kaprizov was coming at you at 100 miles per hour. Wow!
You're at the Zamboni.
You just freaked out.
You got a little twitchy over there.
Better not do that during the Taco Bell take tonight.
I used to get excited when the Zamboni doors would open. After those bag skates, and those players are probably excited
the
too.
best.
But this goaltending talk, it's going to be talked about until until the season comes to an end, and hopefully it's in June.
Every segment 9 to noon starting tomorrow,
and it might be the Taco Bell take tonight.
Yep.
But you're going to hear about it for the next 2 weeks.
With the walking dirt bag.
With the walking dirt bag in hand. But it's another opportunity for Volstead tonight to show that he has the ability and he's ready to go if need be called on in playoffs. And talking with Hines, he's got full comfort in both guys. And there's no doubt if they need to go one direction or the other, it's each way they're completely content with what they have in net, as they should be. Both goalies have been awesome.
So I was driving to Tria this morning, and the extended drive, the morning sun going west to east is awful when it comes to traffic and vice versa in the evening. But I was
Western suburb problems.
Yeah, east to west is beautiful.
The wind's at your back and the sun.
No, you're into the tailwind.
But I was listening to the Power Trip, and I think it was Hawk who mentioned this Athletic article. So I had to peek at it once I got here. There's a power ranking of goalie helmets. Yeah. And it just kind of got me thinking, because and you can look at this on the Athletic.
Like how they're painted and stuff?
Yeah, it's something Granger who did the article. And they just...
The plumbing supply company.
Yeah, absolutely it was. And Gustafsson, he's at number 19.
Is it just current goalies in the league, or is it the history of the helmet?
No, it's I think it's current.
Okay,
yeah,
so I'd probably be 32. I was very.
How important was this? Like this was a cool opportunity for you to identify yourself on the ice.
He had a picture of Tiger D on one side of it.
I did. One of my helmets, I had Tiger D on the side. The horse that never made it to the track. I had a horse racing theme. I always did a fishing theme.
Yeah,
because I love to fish. And then my kids loved the mascots wherever I was, so I started getting the mascots involved. But then on the back plate, as my kids got old enough, I'd give them a piece of paper, and I said, draw something for the back of my helmet. And so the back plate for the last couple years of my career was like 3 different drawings from each kid. And,
sweet.
And my boy would draw some hockey sticks with a
Who
puck.
paints them?
It was actually, for a while, I got them painted here in Minnesota. By Miska Mask, who did it forever. He did like Eddie Balfour's Eagle Mask for years. And then he started slowing down with his paintings, and I started going over to a guy over in Sweden. I believe Dave Art is his name.
Well, who's number one and what's on the mask?
I was going to say, if it's history, I mean, there's got like John Van Beesbrook. He used to be so great. Steve Shields in San Jose had the big shark mouth over his helmet. And,
so according to this, it's
Stitches. Gary Cheevers, it just said Stitches on his mask.
Really?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. Did you have a certain mask that you identified with, or you saw and you're like, I want to do something like that? Like, is this
when I was in college?
Thing?
Yeah. And I can't remember who it was, but I was in college. I just had the bulldog, just twisted all around, different sizes, spun around. I think I did it for a couple helmets, but it was I can't remember who.
Spihar?
It wasn't Dave Spihar though.
No.
Gary Cheevers, Gary Cheevers' mask is great. It was just the old school and it just had stitches everywhere.
That's beautiful.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
So this is
look at that.
This is number 1, Samuel Montembeau.
Oh, so French.
of the
wow.
Canadiens.
Did they interview
too
him and
much.
talk a little bit about his design?
Yeah,
or-
it's just
Well,
it's
that's
a
a lot.
lot going on with the Canadiens logo there.
Yeah, that's extra.
Okay,
as
so,
the
they're
Stalock kids
looking
would
at
say.
detail, and he's even got his mask like painted. If you can see that, and the problem with that is it just seems like when you're sitting up in section 300, you can't even tell what's going on in the
Right.
guy's mask. It's
Well,
simpler
that's
than
hockey,
better.
period.
Well, how much you spending on this? Is it a few $100? If I'm painting masks like
Few
this
hundred.
custom, I bet that's got to be $5,000.
I was gonna
That's
say
a question for
1,500.
Tony DeCosta, the equipment manager here. I'd say somewhere more, maybe around that 1,500, 2,000. I mean, it's and generally you get two done at least. For a backup like me, I'd get one every 3 years. But the starter might get 2 or 3 helmets a year for like, the throwback night. Now the Wild wear the third jersey a lot, and so Gus and Ballstead probably have 3 different helmets they wear throughout a year.
All right, we have 90 seconds. You get it all. Ran into one of your biggest fans last week, and it was 9 to noon in studio. It was new Golden Gophers head coach Brett Larson.
Oh yes,
Man,
great
holy
man.
And you know what? Before he came in studio, and we had a wonderful half-hour chat in studio, I'm reading up on him and stuff, and I'm texting some people who would know about his days in Duluth.
Yep.
I had no idea how good of a recruiter he was. He was. I mean, it's like the respect he has for Sandy, for Scott Sandlin, and the opportunity both times. But then, like, one of my early questions was like, "Hey, when you were in Duluth, Alex Stalock, what was it like being with him?" So he's one of your biggest fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he's a great. It's a great hire for the University of Minnesota, and obviously he wasn't a Gopher; he was a Bulldog, and I was fortunate to have him there for 2 years, I believe, at Duluth, and, and you saw it firsthand, the classes that started coming in, and multiple national championships, and he's been through it, and he knows the recruiting side obviously has changed now since then with this NIL stuff, and it's different, and it is, for what he's done at St. Cloud State for his time there, has been incredible, and the national tournaments he's made too, and I know the people here, the alumni of the Gophers, is why is it not a Gopher alumni, and does it how much does that matter? And I heard Micheletti talking about it a little bit, and Brett's going to do the best of his ability, and you're going to see his recruiting, his ability to get players to stay here. And I heard him talk about getting kids to stick around and dealing with the one and dones, and that's just what happens now in this day and age in college hockey. You look at Penn State and the Gavin McKenna's, it's just where the game's headed, and there's so much more recruiting. Now you're going into the OHL. You're not just watching junior hockey, you're watching other college players, you're watching major junior teams in the WHL, OHL. It's just whole different level, but his intensity is a mix between his intensity, how he has fun with the group, and his team first mentality is going to do wonderful for him for the Gopher program.
My man, call a good one tonight with Anthony LaPanta, and thanks a lot for stopping by Tria.
Taco Bell take.
Appreciate you. Can't wait. Yo quiero. Alex Stalock, he'll be on TV tonight calling Wild and Kraken, and of course we'll have the game on KFAN at 7 o'clock. Back to put a wrap on the show after this. The 9 to noon post game goes a little bit like this. If you missed any of 9 to noon today, of course, you can podcast it. 9 to noon on demand, Love Covenant on demand at KFAN.com. If I were to identify a 9 to noon segment today that I think would be interesting for you to go back and listen to, it probably would be the Heinze interview out of the gate. He's a head coach of a team heading to the playoffs. But there was some pretty extensive chat about what goes into rolling your goalies, the Final Five, with Gustafsson and Ballstat.
Yeah.
And what goes into that. Also some Ryan Hartman-related commentary that I thought was really cool. So if you are so inclined and you missed the Heinze interview, then it'll be podcast right after the radio show, assumedly. And that'd be part of the post-game mix, according to yours truly.
Yeah, and I'm glad you revisited the Ryan Hartman segment, or revisited that topic, I should say, with Stalock. And I just feel like Hartman's interesting to me. Not only has he been hot of late, but it's always, well, he takes the bad penalty here, he's too fiery in spots, and he gets in this weird fight, and he costs the team. He is not without warts. There's no doubt about that. But I also feel like Hartman's been one of the most consistent playoff performers
Big time.
For this team during his tenure in Minnesota. And so I would actually piggyback, and I got a couple more, but I'd piggyback that into some early Stalock convo at the beginning of this hour from the standpoint of really just kind of understanding how personalities matter in the playoffs. That's dovetails into how Bill Guerin builds rosters, how he built the Olympic group. Why have we been so focused on bottom six, pre and post trade deadline, and what that means in terms of building a roster that can win games when it's all on the line. And I think Ryan Hartman can be kind of a bit understated or underrated in portions of those conversations. So early Stalock and Heinze are certainly in that mold. I love, and I don't know why, that maybe this matters to me and nobody else, but talking to Russo about Russians finding their way into the NHL.
That was good.
In the early 90s. And that group of five initially, combined with the cultural shift, specifically kind of the trailblazing nature of the Detroit Red Wings during this time.
And I didn't know Sergei Fedorov was part of that. I mean, he's one of the most famous hockey players in the history of the league.
Yeah, and I forget some of the names: Konstantinov, Fedosov, Fedorov. There's a lot of those names, certainly. But I just remember it as a rube in the mid-late 90s, watching hockey and seeing the Yzermans and the Fedorovs and some of these guys, and it's like, wow, it's like Team Rush over them, the red jersey with the prominent wing on the front and the whole deal.
Right.
Like the Red Wings, like that was a culture thing. And then seeing, we're talking about Urov and Tarasenko, what he's meant on, with the tutelage, and Kaprizov getting a Hattie in Detroit. That was a really fun segment at 10 with Russo.
And what I learned to close with Heinze about Ryan Hartman is never ask a head coach that's of a team that employs Ryan Hartman a question about him in October, November, December, January, February, and half of March, because you get the same answer when he moves his feet, because Ryan, regular seasons for show and late season and postseasons for dough. All right, thank you, Brett Blakemore. Dame Ms. Yutani, good seeing you. For Nordo, I'm Paul Allen. Bye.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show, or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.